There you go.
Yeah. All right, we're hearing you.
All right. Well, I like to be heard, bro. Still live. Still on.
Make that all your intro and everything done while Andrew's working on the system here. We're not
Okay.
going to need to do much of an intro.
Okay. So it sent me this app from your end, and I guess it's to access to YouTube or something.
I guess. I don't know.
Huh?
I can find it.
I can barely hear him.
I think what's happening is it's recording this now, and when it's just finished, you can go to. It's going to automatically download to his YouTube channel,
Okay.
and then he can send it over to you.
Okay.
So see how it bounces in and out. So when he speaks, it's going to bounce on him. When you speak, it's going to bounce back and forth.
I'm going to hang the phone up this way we can be right just on this.
All right. Okay. For some reason, I got this little screen. I guess it's something I did. Said I wanna be better.
All right, now you got me going through?
Yep.
Okay. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We have 8 students and 1 former student. A former student is Ashley, and he's a rapper.
Okay, now.
Yeah. So I wanted him to have a shot to talk to you. And
Okay.
he's going to be coming up in this whole rotation. Now, John, did you pull up something to read? Because since we started off with John, and we kind of know him very well, I think, I want to bring him up so he can read something to you.
Okay.
So here he comes.
Am I as huge on the screen as you are over here?
Yeah. I think I'm bigger though, because you know how it is.
I put it on. I put it online on the program, and they told me I had like 300 words, but I copied and pasted it. I had
He's got a report he wants to read you. It's very long, so maybe he'll read like the first part of it.
Okay. I went and checked out Lord B too, man. I seen like 3 of his videos. One looked like he was in a fish tank store.
In a what?
He was in a fish tank store, like a aquarium store.
Oh,
something about love.
when he was crying, yeah.
Yeah, he a real emotional dude. Okay.
Yeah. Okay, so this is called Racism. Take away Hispanic and Black History Month. Forget about any ethnicity history month. Why have it? To remind us that we're not all humans, to remind us there's not only one race on earth, that there's no such thing as a human race. So if there's an Asian Pacific month, a Hispanic Heritage Month, and a Black History Month, I'm guessing the rest of the other months are Native American history months. Oh, wait. No, I mean white, because the whites found America. Silly me. Now, I don't have nothing against any race. Why would I? We're all in the same race. And in your religion, we are all the same to that God. My point is, why do we have to be reminded of the horrible moments in history and then celebrate them and making it clear these ethnicity history months are just separating the human race even more? I don't know how to explain how ridiculous having a Black History Month or an Asian Pacific History Month in America sounds. So if we're having these history months for these people, what are the rest? Normal? It's absurd that in Black History Months you have to learn in school how greatly America was influenced by Afro Americans. We should have been we have wait we should have that being taught in our books regularly. If we having months like these, why not celebrate something every month, such as Jewish History Month for greats like Albert Einstein, or Homosexual History Month? Gee, how much more can we exploit gay people? Speaking
Wow.
of, should I end it there?
I like that, man.
Thank you, thank you.
Wow. I mean, that's a good point. It appears that it seems like a lot of races have demanded that they be recognized in months. I don't get it.
Yes. I was influenced by this when I read something online about Morgan Freeman and how Morgan Freeman um found that ridiculous about the Black History Months, and how um the more you speak about race, the more it will never go away.
Right.
I looked into that, and that's how I was influenced to write this paper.
So how do you think we get past it? Well, we not speaking
It's
about
10
race.
o'clock.
Well, we're not speaking about race.
Oh, I feel
Hip hop is dead.
I bought it at the store where I work at. No, like basically, I just feel like if we're not always speaking about it, the more it will go away. Like if we're always speaking, oh, gay people this, gay people that, it will never go away. The division of us. So like if we keep talking about races, like I gave an example in this paper. Like if I'm walking on Cranford and I see a black or Hispanic person, I would be surprised sometimes because I come from Newark and I always see that in Newark. If I see it here, I'll be so surprised, and I would want to make comment about it or make a joke to my friends. But then in my head, I say, let me keep it to myself, because if I mention it and make a remark, then when will like it go away? I'm just saying it because of the sake of the joke. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah.
So I think one way that we can possibly help it go away is I mean it's divided up in so many different parts, from class to the color of your skin, and it's something that's being taught. So in my opinion, it's a bigger issue for adults than it is with kids, because kids prejudice, that is something that is learned behavior. And a lot of people from our society or from different races want their kids to be aware of how they've been treated as a culture, as a people, and that kind of shape and builds division amongst us. So I think is a to actually change how we see each other, we have to change the adults that passes it on.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. All right.
But then the question is, do we want to deny our children of to understand what we've been through? I mean, that's for all races.
Yeah.
So you will have to. That would mean we have to stop teaching our kids about what we've been through, African Americans to get here, and with Native Americans and the Holocaust. And I'm not sure that races in general who have faced some form of genocide are so willing to give it up, because they say if you forget the past, then the past is more likely to repeat itself, even though the past generally repeats itself anyway.
Yeah. I mentioned if instead of just having it like for 1 month, just have it taught regularly in school and in the books, like not just for 1 month. You know what I mean?
Right,
Yeah.
right, yeah, right, because this is American history.
Yes, American
It's
history. There you
American
go.
history.
Exactly.
Right. Okay. All right, I got
All
you.
right. Nice talking to you
Appreciate
again.
you. You too, man.
All right.
Tell Lil B stop crying.
Ah.
Judy's up next. She's going to read something to you.
Okay.
Hi.
Hey, Jude. How are you?
Good. I'm going to try and read this without glasses. One quick.
Uh,
You want to know something? Can I tell you something? I can still hear the voice in my head repeating the questions over and over again until I answer back. Yes, what is it, Johnny? He was a former student and I was his paraprofessional. It was my job to assist the classroom teacher by working with individual and small groups of students with disabilities to provide them with physical, instructional, and emotional support. Working with special needs children in public elementary school for over 10 years has given me more than my share of memorable events. Every student is different in the degree of help he or she needs. Most students welcome the help. However, not every student wants my help, wants me there. I have been kicked, screamed at, and nearly punched in the eye. Understand that it is not the child's fault. It is how they deal with frustration. My job is to help them learn better coping strategies. It is a physically and emotionally exhausting job. Considering how little I'm paid, it's bewildering at times why I continue. I do, however, because every once in a while, some seemingly small act comes along that melts my heart. It happened to me on the last day of school one year, and it is a time I will always remember.
wow.
Sorry, I'm still going. I should put my glasses up. I was working with fifth grade class, which was special to me. I had known almost the entire graduating class by name since they started first grade. That is the place where I first met Johnny, not his real name. He was a cute, shy little boy with blonde hair and brown eyes who could tell you everything there was to know about dinosaurs. He used all the correct names, knew where they came from and what they ate. His favorite game was pretending his hands were dinosaurs having adventures. Johnny played in his own world a lot. In third grade, Johnny was diagnosed with Asperger's syndrome. And this was really not a surprise with his remarkable knowledge of one subject, dinosaurs. His loss of focus escaping into his own world with dinosaurs, and his mild aversion to being touched. High fives for a great job were acceptable, but a pat on the back caused him to cringe and pull away. He had a great imagination, liked to tell stories, and draw much more than he liked to do schoolwork. I was assigned to Johnny's class when he was in fourth grade and followed him to fifth grade. During his last years in elementary school, I was to help prepare him to be as independent as possible, readying him for middle school. This is not an easy task when the person you are trying to help does not want to do the work. Although he was capable, he just did not like work. It was a long school year filled with ups and downs. Johnny still talked about dinosaurs and had added video games to his repertoire of knowledge. He still asked, "You want to know something? Can I tell you something?" His eyes wide and a huge smile on his face, he would tell a story or a bit of trivia with the excitement of a child on Christmas morning. He wanted to be a scientist when he grew up, although he cried hysterically for 20 minutes on the day he learned the sun would burn out in 500 billion years. He always fully aware that he would not be around when it happened. The last day of school was a happy one for Johnny, who acted like it was any other day. He was glad school was over, although a little nervous about going to middle school. At the end of the day, we walked down the halls to to the dismissal doors. Johnny gave us the usual goodbye to the teacher and to myself, then headed for his mother, who was always waiting for him outside, just as he had always done. Just before he reached the door for his summer freedom, the unexpected happened. He stopped, he turned around and came rushing back. He gave me a hug. It was a hug that almost knocked me over with its swiftness. It was brief and unexpected hug from a boy who did not like to be touched. Johnny
Hmm.
just as quickly turned back around and went to his mother, leaving me stunned. One quick hug that gave me such a warm feeling inside, it made my eyes tear up, as it's doing now. One quick hug made all the hard work worth it. I hope he remembers me for a little while. I know I will never forget him.
It's an amazing story.
Thanks.
So if you could remove one barrier that exists in your classroom, what would it be?
Hmm. That the kids I deal with can't do what they want to do, that they can't reach their potential when they can if they're given the right help.
So is it possible when you have a student like Johnny that is consumed with the dinosaur world? Is there a way that you can mix like some of the classroom lessons into so maybe he has 4 dinosaurs with 4 different names and make it like an assignment for the dinosaurs? Would something like that have been able to reach him, you think? If it was something that they had to figure out the dinosaurs.
Yeah, to a point, but eventually he'd have to move on to other
Oh,
subjects. He'd have to,
right,
and he'd still be stuck back in that dinosaur world.
right, okay. All right, but I appreciate you could feel your passion. That was such a wonderful story. Made me feel all warm, and I don't get warm and gooey inside, but I think it is definitely a story. I hope you're sharing it with others, teachers, so many other people that can identify, or even a teaching tool for individuals like me that don't have that experience, but your passion, your emotions were so attached to the story that I could feel you. And so I saw Johnny through your eyes, which made Johnny real to me. So excellent writer. Keep doing what you're doing.
Thank you.
No problem.
I almost had to pull and tug Judy to get her up here. She's a little shy.
She was good. She was really good.
Yeah.
I mean, that made me see her classroom and see the struggles and the challenges, but see the rewards after she finally makes some form of breakthrough. So that was awesome.
You know, I've said this to you a few times that you got to be writing from the heart. If you're not writing from the heart, then it's not really good writing, and all of her writing comes there.
Right.
That's where it originates.
Right.
Okay. Charlie, are you set? All right, Charlie's going to come up and share something with you.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
Charlie is our resident scholar.
Okay. Do I gotta use bigger words? Do I gotta step my vocabulary up, scholar?
Not really. Things aren't what they appear. Life can be such a bitch. With the way people tell you how you are supposed to succeed, what is happiness, and how you're supposed to attain it. When you're a kid, they tell you that if you work hard and do things right, you will succeed. But that tends to be nothing but lies. All I see are shitty people taking advantage of each other to get to the top. Whether it's slimy handshakes, false promises, backroom deals, or even the occasional person trying to fuck their way to the top. Where are all these great gallant heroes of society doing things right all the time? Well, that's right. They're either dead or non-existent. Why can't they just tell us when we were kids what the real world is like, instead of letting us live in a dream high, waiting for life to sucker punch us into submission? Is it because you guys don't want to be alone in your melancholia? You want to see our dream world burn down to the ground? Thanks to that, I too have to take part in your wretched melancholia.
Wow. So, what would you teach kids? What would you tell them about the world and how to succeed?
Well, it depends how little they are. Like I babysit 3 boys. Like that's what I do. I babysit kids from 7 to 11, and
Okay.
one of them's autistic. But what I do with them right now, is like I I show them these TV shows that uh, do show tiny hints of what the real world is like. Like they'll
Okay.
have characters die off, right? And it's sad, right? But you're supposed to feel sad when that happens.
Right.
So, like when you look at kids shows a lot, you see things are always happy and funny, but that's not what the real world is like. So I just show them just a little bit so that things are sad, but then the characters go on and try to do things a lot. They keep going, right? And that's exactly what I want the kids that I watch to do. I want them to keep pushing forward. I want them to keep to know that if they don't quit, they can still succeed even when things are down.
So how old were you when you realized that it all wasn't happy endings and how you was able to move forward?
Well, like when I was when I was little, I always knew that things don't go your way. But I was when I was little, I was one of the I was really smart when I was little. I was really lazy, but I was really smart. So because I was smart, I became extremely lazy to the point that I just wouldn't do things. So
Right.
I always thought of myself as invincible, and it wasn't until I reached adulthood and I got the snot kicked out of me that I really
Okay.
humbled down and realized that stuff isn't just for them; it's also for me. I have to be aware of what I'm doing.
So did that take you out of being lazy? What was that transition like?
It wasn't the being lazy part. It was more the self-centered narcissist
Right, right,
arrogance and stuff like that, to think that I was
right.
and no one else could put up with me, right? And it was that really, and once things went downhill for me, school wise and everything, I it woke me up, and now I'm better than ever because I'm more humble and I'm more aware of my surroundings.
So what are you now? Because you said you was narcissistic at first. So how would you describe yourself now?
Now I think now I'm more scholarly than ever, because back when I went to another school before I went here, and when I was at that school, all I did was like I just kind of nonchalantly uh, did what I wanted to do, and I assumed that I was going to be a great member of society one day just because I was going to a college and I was doing really well, and I thought, yeah, no, I'm freaking fine, and I didn't master my craft to the limit that I really could. And now that I'm here, I sit in the library for hours studying things that I don't need to, but I just feel interested in doing. You know what I'm saying?
Right. So my last question for you, what is your craft that you weren't paying enough attention to, and how does that translate to the 3 kids that you babysit? How is all of it coming together, or are you really functioning in almost like 2 different society So which society is best fit for you, is a better fit for you?
The one thing I used to always be really good at that I really lost focus on was taking really complex and tough things to learn and breaking them down to little tiny pieces so that anyone can learn it. So, because when I was in middle school and in high school, I was one of the better students, and people would always come to me and ask me for help, and I could break it down. And then once I reached college, I stopped doing that, and I just blew them to the side. And now that I'm getting that I'm getting that skill back, and I'm doing it in things that I have no experience in. Like I'm a science oriented person, but I'm trying to write more. I'm trying to learn law, stuff like that, stuff that has
Wow.
nothing to pertain with what I do, but I do it anyway just for fun. And
Right.
I've learned I realize how much I enjoy learning things now more than ever.
Okay.
That's pretty much what it is.
So from my experience, I love your approach and breaking things down, because as a writer, as a performer, as a businessman, all of my writing, if a third grader can understand it, then a scholar such as yourself will get it with no problem. So I'm always mindful of the less educated uh, people that may come in contact with my work. So I aim to reach them, and that way it connects all the way up. And I know it feels like when you're in the library, you're reading things that may not apply to your life, but everything applies in some form or fashion. Law gonna come up, and so you're preparing yourself, even though you may not even know that you're preparing yourself to be able to overcome challenges they may present themselves sooner or later in life. And I love your outlook on life and learning, because it's in reality everything is connected. We when we go to school, we pick a major, we pick a minor, and that is the thing that we believe that we're going to pursue. But if you look at most graduates, they're not even in the same field that they got the degree in. So there is always room to learn more, because you never know what door tomorrow may bring, or where your true happiness may come from as you evolve. So everything that you learn is going to benefit those three little kids that you babysit now. So stay in their libraries, stay radical, because you're a radical scholar, because you started off firing. So just continue to embrace, man, as you evolve, and the world will become more and more clear, because every day, every minute, we experience something entirely different than we have experienced, but we may not recognize it on the conscious, but subconsciously, we are always growing and developing. And you seeking knowledge is amazing, because it's going to benefit your life, because in the end, it's going to even benefit those three little kids that you are preparing to enter this big, amazing world where there are full of opportunities, but countless people going to throw barriers and obstacles in their way. And so a thinker like yourself, a radical such as yourself, a revolutionary such as yourself, going to prepare them to have that determination to overcome everything. So we fortunate to have you in our world, champ.
Thank you.
Appreciate you.
All right, that was well done. Paul, you wanted to come up. Come on up. Paul's got a little something to share with you.
Okay.
Yeah, it's good.
All right. Is it still morning? Yeah.
Hey,
All right.
Paul.
Hi. Good morning. All right. So this is called like a broken record. All right.
Okay.
Um. All right. It's an early day to get up for a track meet, but because it's my last meet of my junior year, what the hell? I grab my stuff, nervous about my last race, and start to leave for the meet. I've been trying all season to break my mile time of 5 minutes, but I was never able to do so since the beginning of March. I'm doubting myself the entire trip, and then I see the track. The nerves are getting to me, and I know coach is expecting me to finally break it. She knows I can, but I don't know if I know that. Considering the fact that I haven't been able to do so in my last 7 meets, this feeling of shame is just taking over me every minute that passes. 1 hour till race time. First thing that makes me nervous is the weather. It was just sunny and calm, but right now it's as if Mother Nature flicked a switch and the wind started to blow. I know for a fact that wind is going to cause problems for me running. Um, Wind is the greatest enemy for any runner since it causes so much resistance running forward. Wind will slow me down, but why do I get the feeling I'm making excuses to justify my mile time if I don't break my personal record? As I'm warming up, I can't think of anything else other than a race. However, it isn't in a motivational way, but a discouraging and a scared thought in my mind. 20 minutes to race time. Like any other coach, Coach Morgan would give us a motivating speech before our race. As I'm staring at the other runners, the sweat is still trickling down my face from the warm up, and that's all I'm focused on. I'm not hearing a word Coach is saying. She notices, and after her speech to the team, comes right to me. She looks me in the eye and in a stern voice says, "You can break it. The practice I've given you all season has trained you for this moment. The reason why you haven't broken it yet is simple. You don't believe in yourself. You're not pushing your body to the limit, and when you do feel pain, you slow down to avoid being in more pain. In reality, do you know what's causing that pain?" Automatically, I nod my head no. Your own mind is causing you to feel that pain. That moment you tell yourself you can't is the moment you start to break down on that track. Your body can take much more than you think it can handle. I want you to keep in mind, Paul, pain is temporary, but legacy is forever.
Hmm.
As she walks away, I'm staring at the track and thinking about what she said. I realize I'm like a broken record, repeating. I am repeating. Mm, I'm looking for it. Hold on. All right. I realize I'm like a broken record, repeating the same words in my head. I can't. I can't. I can't. This is the first time coaches ever personally gave me a speech. The seriousness of that speech and her intention to motivate me made me realize that this is the last shot I'll ever have. She wanted me to experience this epiphany. It worked. Suddenly, all the nerves and butterflies feel like they're floating away, and all that's left is the will and courage I've had in me since the beginning of the season. Then, from a distance, I hear her say, "Race is about to start. 4 minutes. 4 minutes till race time." Finally, the time has come. 15 runners on the line, and my main and only goal is to break 5 minutes. I wasn't thinking of anything shiny. The only shiny object waiting for me at the finish line was a number 5. I don't need no cheap plastic to remind me of this moment because I haven't been as motivated as I've ever been before, and coach can just see that on my face. That calm, relaxed face I also also had hints of determination and aggression. All the other coaches voicing their encouragement towards their respective runners, but Coach Morgan was not. She didn't need to. Official yelling, "Runners on your mark." I'm not paying attention to anything he's saying, but the gun in his hand. Set. Pow. I see the gun go off, and I'm starting my last mile my junior year. I'm making good pace as I pass the first lap. I'm staying relaxed in the middle of the pack and coming through the time 101. I start to pick it up a little my next lap as I transition from the middle to the lead pack. I see the time 2:11. As I get into my third lap, I'm halfway done. I'm feeling a little tired and some pain. The wind working against me, but I'm still powering through, maintaining proper form. My head is straight as well as my back, and my arms are swinging straight in my hip. Belief was pushing me through the pain. The lead group of runners are starting to slip away from me as we finish the third lap. 3:49. I know that if I can't get past this pain, then I won't be able to break 5 minutes. However, as I remember what coach said about pain being temporary and the ability of my body to handle much more than I have thought it could, I ignore the pain, the wind, and all the doubting voices in my head, and must keep running to catch up to the lead pack. Belief really is a powerful drug. With only 50 meters away from the lead pack, I sprint with everything that I have left just to catch up with that group. It just became a race. With 100 meters left in the race, we're all pretty much neck and neck, but they start to slip away again by using all they had left to finish the race. I see them pass the line. First place, second place, third place, fourth place, then me. As I'm finishing, I see the time. 4 minutes, 55 seconds, 55.73 seconds. Right at the line, I collapse, but coach helps me back up and gives me a hug and says, I knew you had it in you. Just tell yourself you can." I don't even care that I got fifth place that day because that wasn't my goal that I wanted to reach. My goal was 5, and that's the magic number. From the moment I started living by that saying, nothing comes easy. When it gets hard and you fall, get up and don't stay down. A little belief goes a long way. I look back at that moment every time the going gets tough. It does get hard, and that struggle is inevitable. You may want to get back up from something terrible, but if and when you do get up, it makes life challenges. It makes life challenges much less difficult. Belief may be invincible, and I believe it will for others as well.
Man, that was so motivating. Question.
Mm.
Is that a true story or that a
Yeah.
fictional?
No, yeah,
Is it
that
true
was
story?
true. That was junior year of high school was my last season of track, and I couldn't break it during the winter season, and I couldn't break it for spring track because I was always used to running relays with a team, and
Okay.
I felt more confident with the team, but because it was an individual type of race, then I couldn't. I just never I never thought I could do it alone. So
So my question is, uh, in most situations in your life, is it that same approach that doubt before you able to surpass it?
yeah, that time actually got me past a really rough time with my family.
Right.
So my parents recently they had they split up this past year, this past summer, and it wasn't easy for me, and I always think it was like our fault, my brothers and my fault,
Right.
but that doubt, it was just like I just couldn't think that way, I had to stay strong for my mom, especially.
Right.
I'm working myself through college. I'm working at I'm making money. I have a job as well, helping her, supporting her, paying bills.
Right.
And when going gets tough, you just got to believe a little bit, believe in yourself, and you can get through life's toughest challenges.
So can I ask you, like, what are you doing in your life now that is strictly for you?
For me, well, everything I do right now mainly isn't for me, but it's the outcome will be for me. My first priority isn't even for me. It's for my family. Make sure they're all like set for life, because
Right.
your mother's the one that's carried you for 9 months, and
Right.
she'll gladly go through all that pain again.
Right.
In my mind, if I know that she's cared for, and I know that she's supported, and so is my brothers and my little sister, then I know that that's for me. That's like
Yeah.
that's what I'm doing. Like for them is for me. We're one and one. We're like one person. You know.
Well, that's honorable. So uh I know like a lot of people that make sure that everybody is well taken care of, and if everybody else is happy, then we all are happy. But before the family troubles, like, what was your goal? What was like, you was like, man, when I grow up, I want to be such and such, or I want to do such and such.
Mhm.
I'm just trying to figure out, like, how can you tie all of it in, or is it not possible to be able to tie it all in?
No, yeah, I see. Um, well, before all this, I really want to be um, do something in the medical field. Um,
Yeah.
and right now that's what I'm doing also. Um,
Okay.
um, but the end result of that is my family is cared for. I just didn't really see it as like my own personal goal. I saw it for them also.
Right.
That's really why. Well, I'm in college. For myself also. To get a proper education, to raise my own family someday. Um,
Right.
but you know, first priority is my family, no matter what. Yeah. Then
Yeah.
comes me. That's it.
Yeah. I can respect that, because I know one of the things that I had to learn is that my family needs me, and I have to play the part for them. But when I get my alone time, because like I needed breaks because like looking out for a family can at times be overwhelming, and you don't take a break, and so you're always consumed. So I never was breathing, and I was just wondering, like, do you ever have those opportunities where you could just exhale and inhale like you for maybe 5 minutes, for an hour, for a day, so you could be rejuvenated.
Yeah.
I mean, be balanced within yourself as well, and not that it would take away from your family, but for us to stay healthy enough and inspired enough, I think to meet all the demands of taking care of others, that we have to be balanced within ourselves as well.
Right. Right. Yeah. Definitely. Like I get that day off, like, at church every
Okay.
day. But
Okay.
as well as, like, I have a social life as well. You would think, like, with work and school, I don't have enough time, but I have friends, just to, like, relieve me of that stress. We go out, have fun, go to parties, or just go out for lunch, and we just talk about how we're doing with life and all that.
So you
And
be dancing at the parties?
I don't even know who dances at parties anymore. Honestly.
Man, I wish you nothing but success, but I know you're going to accomplish that anyway. Just keep overcoming those obstacles, man, and everything should work out, man.
All right.
Stay focused, man. Take care.
You too. Thank you.
You got some amazing students, Joe.
I'm telling you, these guys are unbelievable. I tell them every time that they're the reason I get up on a Saturday morning, because, man, that's not the easiest thing to do.
Right.
But being here and listening to them write and share and then grow as much as they do is a thrill. That's my rush.
Right, because so far, all of their writing has been revealing, which is you don't find in a lot of people.
I agree, and I'm very fortunate. I get good students in here just about every semester. I don't think I've had a group yet that I just shook my head and said, "Oh my gosh, am I in trouble?" They're
Right.
good people, and they meet me halfway, and it's all I've ever asked.
Right. And
Jason
the
wants to
world,
share something with you.
Hello, my name's back up a bit. Yeah, that's okay. I'll squat a bit. Wait, can I tilt this?
hey, Jace.
Like, it's not too secure.
That's right, Jace. Get it right, Jace. That's right. Get it right, Jace.
Yeah, no, it's a little too short. No, yeah, that's fine. All right, so yeah, good morning. My name is Jason Knowles.
Hey.
I didn't have much, I didn't have many essays or stuff to talk about on my computer, as I recently changed bags and I wasn't prepared for this, but I got one on there. It's not really titled. It's about me and my first time getting a job. It's basically a story of humility versus hubris, or being humble versus being overzealous, etc.
Hey, Jace.
Yes.
Before you start, one thing that I usually tell like performers and writers is don't set up your work, because the story that you read or the poem that you tell or whatever it is that you do, I should be able to discover all of that in your writing versus you setting it up just in case I miss it. That makes sense?
Yeah, I got you.
All right.
All right, so I'll begin. All right. So at the ripe old age of 17 and a senior in high school, I decided it was time to obtain a job. This task was much harder than I ever imagined. I must have sent out like 20 applications with no reply. It wasn't until one fateful morning at school in the midst of October, when I was checking my email during study hall at school. A new email from Robert Copera. I don't know anyone by that name. Congratulations. I'm a manager from Kohl's in Linden on Route 1 and 9. I want to see you for an interview next week. And after I got that, I was ecstatic. I confirmed the interview. I took like the online requirements and whatnot. This is my chance to hold an actual job and make my own money. Now begins the journey of finding an outfit. The email insisted on business casual. As a 17-year-old who wears nothing but rock band t-shirts, jeans, and hats, as you can see, I don't have anything business casual. So before I make any money, I had to spend some, a vicious cycle as I was broke. My sister helped. She bought me shoes, pants, shirts, haircut, the works. She was just happy that I could find a job and get some experience under my belt. Now here comes the day of the interview. My entire last week and a half have been looking forward to this moment, and boy was I anxious. Upon entering a store I honestly never stepped foot in, I was ready for questioning. As seen in most of the movies, interviews are, one-on-one. That's what you see in TV shows, you see in movies. That's what I was expecting. Little did I know it was a group interview. Now I was competing with other people who were much older and much more experienced. I was youngest by 6 years and had no work experience whatsoever besides some odd jobs helping at my cousin's construction agency, which had nothing to do with retail. One of the older gentlemen there previously worked at a law firm, and he was just bored of an early retirement, so you could see what I was going against. Okay. The questioning begins, and my palms are already sweaty. I could barely let out an audible representation of my own name. What was supposed to be, hello, my name is Jason Robert Oles, happy to meet you, sounded much more like, hello, my name is Jason, etc. You get the idea. It wasn't looking great for me, at least not in my own head. We were seated around in a circle table, and I was always the last one to have to answer the question since I was at the very end. Each question as ambitious as the last. Along the lines of how do you plan on making Kohl's great? How do you plan on making our work environment better than our competitors, etc. All answers basically warranted the same work hard attitude type answers. Now here comes the questions regarding your regarding experiences and rating yourself, on a scale of 1 to 10. Now it became a one-up contest between everyone. Every story sounding better than the last person who spoke. Everyone rating themselves a 10 out of 10 for everything besides me. I wanted to be honest. I was not perfect, so I won't lie about being so. So being the only person in the room with enough grit to actually be honest made me look inferior to the others. The interview was over, and I walked out of there believing I was destroyed by the other occupants of the questioning. But with little of my own knowledge on how the hiring process works, interviews could smell a lie from a mile away and would take the imperfect, honest person over the conceited, pretentious, and smug perfectionist, who sees themselves as a 10 out of 10 on everything when that is hardly possible. So I got the job, the only person in the whole interview who got it, in fact. I rushed home to inform my parents and sister I was overjoyed. This is how I got my first job, one in which I still work to this day, with next month being a year. I wrote this a while ago, so it's already been a year by now. This was truly a moment I will never forget, and one of the almost seems like the underdog coming out on top.
Congratulations. Man, that was so visual. It was like watching a movie.
Yeah, my history teacher in high school used to say that I write my stories as if they're coming off the top of my head or something, or in a good way, as if they're notes and it's easier to talk to, as if it was a conversation rather than me just telling a story.
So do you remember what was it in you that said, I'm just going to be me versus competing against my competitors?
Well, I don't typically like to lie too much. I'd much rather prefer honesty, as that's how I would like to be treated in return. And I figured they hire people all the time. They're professionals. I'm pretty sure they could tell, if someone's either lying or not. And if they ask for actual stuff to back up what I'm saying, I don't want to stand there looking like an ass. Basically, I want to tell the truth.
So in all actuality, you was never the underdog in that room. You was always the leader because you was the one that was true to himself, and that's how you won over the interviewers, right?
I suppose.
Yeah, man, awesome story, man. You should be doing some writing, brother.
Thank you.
Because that was awesome.
Class for nursing right now.
Okay. Oh wow. So how did you choose to do nursing?
I looked at it from a point of view on, well, one, I always want to do something in the medical field, and I looked at a point of view on the job market. The largest generation in America is the baby boomers, which are people born in 1944 to 1961. They're going to be retiring over the next 20 years or so. It's going to open up the job market, and there's going to be a huge spike in nursing needs. So I'm going to have a secure job, it pays well, and it's something I always wanted to do.
Wow, that was dope. that you thought it out that far in advance. Yeah, because we all getting old, and it's definitely everybody is cramming for health care. And then with I don't know if you saw on the news lately, they've been talking about drug abuse and mental health, so that even increases your secure job for the future. So brother, I'm looking forward to having you as one of my care providers, man, as I enter the wearing my Depends era, brother. Right. So I look forward to you, man, because I know you're going to tell me the truth. So I appreciate you.
All right. Thanks.
We need more of you, man. Take care.
Thank you.
I think I get first dibs on Jason. I may be there a little earlier. Najee, you ready?
Yeah.
All right. Now we have a young lady who is doing some technology for you. She's going to read off her phone.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
This is Aja.
Hi. Millenniums. Hi.
This isn't a formal piece. I write poetry and I don't have nothing with me, so this was written a long time ago. I guess this was just random thoughts, though. Okay.
Okay, so you're gonna perform it? Is that what you're gonna do?
Oh
You're gonna
no, it's
perform it
nothing
like
like
spoken word?
that. No, I'm not gonna perform. Let's read it regular. Okay. Cause and effect. Everything you do will have an effect. Wake up, go to work, you'll receive a check. Wake up, do nothing, you receive nothing. Don't complain. Don't complicate life more than you have to. Reaching goals are easy. Accomplishment should be the easiest thing you ever have to do. Everybody has a dream, and with that dream, you know what you have to do to get there. So do what needs to be done, and you're there. Simple. A lot of people blame others for their shortcomings. I don't care where you're from or how you was raised. Everybody knows right from wrong. You can spend your entire life blaming your past for the way you are. That's the beauty. That's the beauty in life. You can create the person you want to be. You don't need anyone else. Don't look for the right person. Be the right person.
Awesome. So writing poetry is one of the things that you do?
Yeah, but that wasn't like kind of poetry. That was just like I wrote one day off my head.
So what's the goal with poetry for you? You have one? Or
No, it's just something I like to do in my spare time.
so how many times have you had to create the life you wanted for yourself?
Every day.
Every day?
Hmm.
So how are you able to get up and overcome? Because I'm sure there's some obstacles that say don't do it today, don't do it today. So how are you able to overcome all that?
Just knowing that it will pay off in an outcome. I mean, in the end. So
So has it been paying off?
yeah, kind of. I
What's
mean, it's hard work. You have to go to work and then you're in school, so you have to just keep going.
so what's the ultimate goal?
My ultimate goal, I want to be a script writer for movies. So
Okay.
it's like I'm trying to write every day. Like I'm trying to start a script now. So like in a couple years, I'll have it all out. But it's hard when you don't have a main topic you want to focus on.
So as a writer, one of the things that I do is I usually my scripts usually like character driven. And so I don't put pressure on myself to like to create the outline or to visualize how the whole story gonna go.
Hmm.
I tend to allow the character to have take on its own life, and it introduces me to all the challenges and the additional characters that's going to come into the play. I mean, come into the script. So, like when I sit down to write, usually my first draft I can do within like a couple of weeks because I allow the story to tell itself. So, I just say don't put pressure on yourself. If it's not, if the story isn't forcing itself out, then don't force it. But if you determine to finish that story, one of the things that I generally do is I'll start from the beginning and read all the way up to where I stop, and that way it allows the story, my thoughts to reconnect to the story, and it gets me a little further. I'm not saying that you're running into writer's block and it's taking a long time. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying those are some techniques that I use, or I'll use music to help set the mode.
Music helps me motivate me to write a lot too.
Yeah. Okay. So I can't wait to see one of those movies up on the big screen. So you just gonna write it and sell it, or you gonna write it, direct it, and cast
I'm
it?
gonna write it and direct it.
Okay. So just remember me and Joe and some of your fellow students in there. You know, all of us got a little bit of something we could do on the screen. But I wish you nothing but success, love.
All right, thank you. Have a good one.
You too.
Now, how much time do you have left with us, Lamont?
I got a meeting at 11 o'clock.
All right. So about 10 minutes?
Yep.
Okay. We can take questions from this point on. Uh, and I want you also, when we get done here, just for a quick minute, to have a quick conversation with a former student of mine, Ashley, who's here. He was one of my best writers, and he's a rapper. So I want you to meet him before we go too.
Okay.
Haley, you want to come up and ask a question or two? You have something really quick you can share? I know you were jotting something. It didn't look really long, so I mean, you can come up and hit that quickly. That'll be great. All right, Kayla's coming up.
I'm digging that hat. Is it cold?
Yeah, it's really cool. I just basically wrote just something really short in response to one of your performances.
Okay.
I can't read.
Okay.
Um, I'll just try to make this quick. Um, my beloved little brother loves to play basketball. They talk about him on the courts, you know. The coaches, they love his moves, and he does his drills faithfully. He studies all the techniques, and his dream? He wants to be in the NBA. This past week, he was not able to make the school team, marking the third anniversary of this failure. However, he still loves to play basketball. He still comes home happy with stories of how he almost dunked or how he broke somebody's ankles. He still wants to be in the NBA and he still believes he can get there, but he's failing in school. When my dearest little brother was in the 8th grade, he completely flunked 2 of his subjects. He was told that he needed to either to enroll in summer school or else he would not be able to advance to high school. However, my family could not afford summer school, so that idea was scrapped. He slumped around for 3 months, silently accepting this reality, until the next year came and he found himself a high school freshman. The last 3 years have just been a series of miracles, to be honest, because each year he keeps falling short and each year he keeps passing. My brother is not stupid, just a little lazy. The school keeps throwing threats at him saying, "You're going to fail." But every year he ignores them and every year he advances. Why should he pay them any mind? Why should he pay any of us any mind? Why should he believe us when we tell him that his chances of playing ball professionally are slim? Why should he believe his teachers when they say he needs to get a job to get enough credits to pass? We just don't have enough faith in him, he would tell us. Things will work out. They will always work out. You'll see. Last week we listened to I Can't Read. Something I especially took to heart was letting kids see their proper grade. If it's a D or an F, let them see that D or that F. Acknowledge that grade and embrace your failure. Life is a series of failures and successes, and it's not sugar coated with incompletes to spare your ego. Call me a pessimist, call me whatever you see fit, but I want my brother to succeed, even if it means he must first fail. I don't want his head to be filled with some kind of illusion that things will always just work out, because that is not always the case. So let him fail. Hold him back a year or two. Let him see that success is subjective and that only he can decide whether or not he truly fails or succeeds. My brother's a smart kid, a good kid. If he's held back, he'll get over it. I promise.
I love his determination, his belief in himself. That was awesome. So, how's he doing?
Um, well, he's just doing him. He's just fine. But I mean, he's still not passing. He hasn't really done anything to change that. And I don't know. I think he just kind of in a way gave up
Yeah. So, is
somehow.
there are there no tutors, no individuals like in Washington D.C. They got all kinds of like programs that helps try to bring students' grades up, and it's not even attached to the schools, like after school programs and
Mhm.
just regular program. There's none of those in y'all community.
Oh, there's plenty of them. He just doesn't want to go.
He want to do it his way.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, what is your fear? What's your fear for him?
I just think that um they'll just keep letting him pass when he doesn't really need to pass. Like I just fear that like he'll get into college and won't be able to keep up with the material, and that he'll get left behind and
Yeah.
end up stuck in a bad place further on down the road. That's my stress.
So do you feel helpless in this?
I do, because I feel like we've all just been talking at him and he just hasn't been listening. Um,
So could it be? Could it be the other way around though? That uh that you all haven't like been hearing them completely out? Because I know for me, when if I'm determined to do something, and the response from my family isn't in the direction that in line with the things that I want to accomplish, sometimes I just tell them what I think they want to hear, or I just shut them out. But uh, I was just wondering if you all hear him completely out, and then maybe there are some programs, or I don't know, that may be more suitable for him. That maybe basketball is viewed as like it's the bigger part, but you have to have these other elements attached to it, and that way it'll help him maybe bring up the grades in some form of fashion. So the thing that I want to do, or you want to do with the rest of your life, tends to be the most important, the thing that you get the most praise for as well, if those are the same things. And so I'm just trying to think of how you can help him get the education end of it as well as the basketball, because there's a clear understanding if you ain't getting good grades, you can't go to college no more and play basketball, right?
exactly.
And so are there like any former basketball or any kind of sports people that's in your community that you will have access to, or that Joe may even have access to, that can have a conversation with him?
Um, I mean, we've bought in like the coaches of the basketball teams to go talk to him, but like that's about it. And they've all pretty much told him the same thing, that like it's okay if he's good, but school comes first. Things like
I'm gonna try to think of something. I'm gonna try to see what I can come up with, and I'll reach out to Joe if I can come up with something, because it's not guaranteed. But I don't want him to fail either.
that.
So if I can figure out some stuff that may be beneficial to you, or I'll try to pass them on to your professor, and hopefully he can get them to you, and we can help steer your brother in the right direction. But so keep me in the loop so I can know what's going on.
Okay,
All right, take care, love.
thank you.
All right.
All right, Lamont, that's very generous. And yeah, you and I will try to work out something and see what we can do. Ashley is a former student of mine who's going to make it as a rapper someday. We know.
Okay.
He's got a couple CDs, from what I understand. Gave me one, autographed it, the whole thing, man. I treasure that.
Okay, that's what's up.
Yeah. And he said that he was sitting back there and listening, and he wrote something. So he wants to come up and share that with you if you have the time.
Okay, yeah.
Come on, Ash.
How you doing?
What's happening?
What's going
What's
on?
what's the rap name?
Cash burner.
Cash Burner.
Yeah.
All right, so you gonna get that money. You gonna burn that money up.
Yeah, something like that.
let me hear what you got.
I wrote it kind of how they did, the phone conversation this morning. The love of my life deserved an apology. Butterflies in my stomach, nervous in my heart. Months of hurtful words the past 2 months. I hate you, you hate me. I love you, you love me. I cry, you cry. I hurt you, you hurt me. The talk is needed. Can't see a future without you. I've been feeling empty from time to time. I have money. I'm successful. I graduated college. It means nothing without Jody. She didn't deserve my BS. Never should she feel stressed. When I wrote Pregnant, I was talking about you. When I wrote therapeutic poetry, I was thinking of you. The phone conversation has me smiling again because I was able to reunite with the sunshine that gave brightness to the dark side of my life. Just something short that I came up real quick.
I see you got some skills. So you got how many CDs out?
I did one like in 2012. 50 Cent's this is 50.com. They released it as an exclusive, and I just completed a CD that's supposed to be digital, distributed through them recordings and Sony.
Oh wow! So you already there?
It's sort of like, I had like a little rough period because I had went to jail and I had got locked up, so it slowed me down. And I had got back in school because I had class with Mr. Pizzo, Professor Pizzo, and I was able to graduate this past May from Union County College. I actually work up here as a public safety officer in the Elizabeth building.
So did it really slow you down? Because I know when I was in, the rappers, man, I know you came home with 30 new cuts, right?
Nah, I had to really take time to get mentally prepared because I never went through a situation like that before. So
okay,
it just took a lot of time, a lot of money to make sure that I beat the case, and which I ended up doing because I was not guilty. So
okay,
had
congrats.
Thank you. Just the mental process of it.
So now where are you? So what is the burial? What are you trying to accomplish now as far as the rap game?
I just want people to, I want to be different. Like, even though like I spend time in the street, I'm not gonna hide that. I did things that I'm not proud of. But I really want to bring more of a positive light towards things because to me, like it's too much negativity going on. A lot of people think that being in the streets is cool, and to be honest with you, it's really not. It's a lot of pain. It's a lot of lonely nights. It's a lot of dark times. And then when I was younger, I'm 28 now, but when I was younger, I thought a lot of the stuff that I was doing out there was cool because I was living fast. I had girls and everybody's liking you, but at the end of the day, it leads you to nothing but trouble and pain, and then it leads you to nothing but despair. And then I had to grow up, and it took a lot of my family to, help me get back to being positive.
So what is your marketing plan to get your message out? So what are some of the things that you're doing? Because I know you said you releasing digital and 50, was it 50 dot? That's with the dude with the glasses, right?
Yeah.
So what else are you doing to help get your work more mainstream, or you intending to be underground?
I sat down recently this past week with Deshaun Taylor. He's a book author. He actually worked, I think he was back on a TV show on BET called The Ultimate Hustler. He does a lot of books, and he's supposed to be, he's creating my website. I've shot videos past couple of weeks. I've been, I'm just been, working and trying to, put myself out there. I don't want no handouts or nothing like that. I've been doing it kind of on my own, just grinding.
So you've been doing it out the trunk? Have you been doing it out the trunk too?
Nah, I haven't sold. Nah, I haven't. Well, I did that with that first CD I did. I was going in and I did shows on stage and performed various places around the tri-state.
So have you tried to? Because colleges, they had this joint called Knocker, and it's like the last time I went, it probably was like 600 college reps there. And so what it is you come, whatever amount of time that you're supposed to have on the stage, you get to do your thing. And then you go to the back, and the college's reps comes around and they book you for like for their individual colleges. So you might get anywhere from 11 o'clock to 300 colleges that might want you to come out to their college. So have you ever, anything about Knocker?
Yeah, I didn't know about.
Yeah, so it's just look up Knocker because there's only two. And come on, one is going to be on like housing, and then the other one is colleges. So just I guess you can Google it because I don't remember what the abbreviation stands for, but it's huge. I mean, you might have like, well, Kanye West ain't gotta go through that no more, but you'll have some big names along with some unknowns that come. It's basically like an audition before all of these colleges, and if the reps like you, they book you. I mean, people making all kinds of money, but more importantly, they're doing college tours. So that might be something that you want to look into as well as when you put out a song or you release a single and it has a certain theme. Like one of the things that I do, even with spoken word, I try to focus on organizations that theme fits. So I got a piece called "She Says She Loves Me." I used to focus that to domestic violence organizations. Or like I Can't Read, I used to focus that to schools. And the reason I say the focus to people that the theme will fit into, because a lot of times they have the capital to pay you to come in and do what you love, and it introduces you to their network of people. So I know 50.com has its own audience, but if you're trying to drive sales to the digital downloads, you know, you got to get back on your grind. No different than the street grind. Because I used to sell books out of the trunk. I used to sell my CD out of the trunk as well. And I built more long-term fans from out of the trunk than I did like radio interviews. Because people tune in and people tune out, but people, they have a certain appreciation when they're able to actually meet the artist in person. Then they feel like they're your friend. So I'm saying use all the social media, go to do the open mics unless you pass that stage. But it's no different than when you was in the street. You gotta, because that's what I did. I still think like a hustler. And as a hustler, I know I try to figure out where my product would sell the best at. And that's where I try to position myself. And there was somebody, I forgot his name, that has a YouTube channel that's also a rapper. So maybe that's a conversation that you can have with that person that's in your classroom. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, definitely.
So leave no stone unturned. I even put out a book called Your Artist, Your Empire, a guide for artists who want to turn their dreams into a business. So it's basically comprised of all the things that I learned that I had to use to position myself to make money off of my art. So as a poet, I got license agreements in Denmark and Canada all for one piece. So anything is possible, but you just got to look at it as the whole picture and not just the route like that most rappers take. Try something unusual that you haven't tried. And I think that college will be a great start. And if it ain't got no cussing in it, then the schools, the regular schools. And then your message that you have that the streets ain't really nothing, you can probably sell that same message to like group homes, juvenile corrections. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, you still will be introducing them to you, and them are ways that you could probably increase your fan base as well. And them social media radio shows, them blog talks and all that. Look into them if you haven't already.
Yeah, I'm going on the radio December 19th in upstate New York, 93.1 with DJ NUT. He's everybody you could think of he worked with, you know, all
Okay.
yeah.
Okay, so you making I ain't need to say nothing to you, bro. You making huge moves.
Now I always listen to, you know, I always respect the OGs that's did it. I always like to learn new things and everything. I'm not above that.
All right, so hopefully I said something, man, that can help, man. But reach out. Yeah, reach out to me, but definitely look into that Carter's thing, because that can be a gold mine.
Thank you so much, Lamar. Mr.
All right, no problem.
Take care.
You too, man.
All right, we're just a couple minutes past 11. I know you got to go.
Yeah, because my person here.
Yeah, all right. We appreciate all the time you gave us today, and I'll call you either this weekend or real early next week, and we'll talk about some things. You got me thinking about some things too.
Right.
So we'll exchange an idea or 10. Okay,
and let's remember to stay on top of her brother, the basketball player. Let's see if we can figure something out that way.
Definitely. I got my principal is good friends with the guy who's the coach of St. Joe's University out in Pennsylvania. Now, that may be a little far, but my principal also has coached, and I might be able to get him to do a reach out.
Okay. Yeah, because I was trying to think of if there were any former or current NBA players
Right.
that we may can figure out how to get access to have a conversation with them. You know what I'm saying? Somebody that he's trying to aspire to that, and so maybe they could tell him how important that the education end is.
Maybe somebody in the New Jersey, well, they're not New Jersey now, they're New York Nets organization, the Brooklyn Nets.
Right.
But possibly somebody like that. The Knicks, I don't know that they would be open to something. I mean, would try.
Yeah, because a lot of them, I found out. Well, a lot of the sports people, they be having foundations.
Yeah.
And so maybe we can look at what NBA players have like foundations and see if that's a good way to connect him to them. So
worth a shot, maybe even like college.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
Because the guy in Rutgers is Eddie Jordan. He was on the team that was like the the miracle team when they won all those games way back.
Right. Okay.
So somebody like that might be able to reach out.
Yeah, I don't know no sports stars. That's what I'm saying. We have to rack our brain on it to figure it out because I don't know nothing about it. If they not on the commercial, chances I don't know who they are. If I ain't seen them in the timeline on Facebook or Yahoo, I wouldn't know. But we could probably figure something out that can give her a little bit more help. And Joe, you a phenomenal professor because you didn't limit them. You allowed them to write what they want to write, use words that they want to use, and you ain't put no restrictions on them. And I can appreciate that because that frees them up even in their writing, man, just to express themselves how they want to express themselves. So I know they'll never forget you because I'm sure every teacher, professor isn't allowing that. So I appreciate you, Chant.
Well, thank you. I appreciate you taking your time this morning and reaching out and doing all the things you do every day. You're reaching a lot of people who other people just say either put them away or we can't help them. And you're there. You're not just talking it, you're walking it too.
Yeah, because that's the only way, man, that I'm gonna help. Make the world a better place, man. We got to reach into the shadows, man, to help pull people out of the shadows. Because at the end of the day, we all want the same stuff. We just got to show other people that it's obtainable on the legal side as well. So I gotta go, Joe, so I can hold my people up. But I appreciate you. Let's talk this weekend.
Sounds good.
All right.
Take care, Lamont.
You too. Take care. Thank you.
Say hi to Melanie.
All right, I will do.
Okay. Bye.